Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 20, entitled The Rainy Season and Autumn in Vrindavan, text 47. Please repeat. Udahrisyan Varijani Surya Utthane Kumut Vina Ragnya Tu Nirbhayaha Lokaha Yatha Dasyun Vina Nripa Udahrisyan Varijani Udahrisyan Varijani Suryothane Kumudvina Suryothane Kumudvina Ragnya tu nirbhaya loka Ragnya tu nirbhaya loka Yatha dasyun vina nripa Yatha dasyun vina nripa Udahrisyan varijani Suryothane kumudvina Ragnya tu nirbhaya loka Yatha dasyun vina nripa Udahrisyan varijani Suryothane kumudvina Nyata nirbhaya loka Dasyun vina nripa Udahrisyan Udahrisyan varijani Suryothane kumudvina Dasyun vina Suryothane kumudvina Nyata nirbhaya loka Mataji. Udahrisyan varijani Word to word. Udahrisyan blossomed abundantly. Varijani the lotuses. Surya the sun. Utthane when it had arisen. Kumud the night blooming kumud lotus. Vina except. Ragnya because of the presence of a king. To indeed. Nirbhayaha, fearless. Lokaha, the populace. Yatha, as. Dasyun, the thieves. Vina, except for. Nripa, O king. Translation by the disciples of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. O King Parikshit, when the autumn sun rose, all the lotus flowers blossomed happily, except the night blooming kumud. Just as in the presence of a strong ruler, everyone becomes fearless except the thieves. ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुर्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामी नमस्ते सारस्वती देवी गौरवाणी जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे उदहृष्यन् वारिजानि सूर्योत्थाने कुमुद्विना राज्ञा तु निर्भया लोका यथा दस्योन्विना नृपा. O King Parikshit, the autumn sun rose, all the lotus flowers blossomed happily, except the night blooming kumud. Just as in the presence of a strong ruler, everyone becomes fearless except the thieves. So here we are continuing to discuss. Shukdev Goswami is describing the autumn season in Vrindavan, and we are coming to the end of the chapter. And in this verse, he is giving the example of when this autumn sun rises, all these lotus flowers they blossom, but there is this kumud flower which only blossoms at night. It doesn't blossom by the sun's rays. So like that, when there's a strong ruler, all the citizens, they are, in the sense, they can be happy. They will all be prosperous, and they are not fearful of thieves, of other problems in the state. But the thieves, they are very scared that anytime if they do some crimes, then the king he will punish them. So we'll read the purport from the Light of Bhagavata, or Prabhupada's purport, and we'll discuss paragraph by paragraph. So Prabhupada's translation is: in the autumn season, all the reservoirs of water are full of lotus flowers. There are also flowers that resemble the lotus, but are of a different class. Among them is a flower called Kumuda. When the sun rises, all the flowers but the Kumuda blossom beautifully. Similarly, lotus-like men take pleasure in the advent of a responsible king. But men who are like the Kumuda do not like the existence of a king. In this age of Kali, the people want their own government because the kings have become corrupt. Formerly, it was not like that. The sons of kings were trained under the guidance of a good Brahmana Acharya, just as the Pandavas and the Kauravas were put under the instruction of the qualified Brahmana professor Sri Dronacharya. Princes were rigidly trained in politics, economics, the military arts, ethics, and morality, the sciences, and above all, devotional service to the Lord. Only after such good training were the princes allowed to be enthroned. When such a prince became king, then too he was guided by the advice of good Brahmanas. Even in the Middle Ages, Maharaj Chandragupta was guided by the learned Brahmana Chanakya Pandita. So in this first paragraph, Prabhupada is he's giving a overview of how in the Vedic times, how the kings they used to rule, and how that times the kings, how they always used to they used to go under proper education and under a guru. Not just anyone can be a government, and it was monarchy. But and he says also that in Kali Yuga, because the monarchy was not good. That's why then they started this democracy and uh, other systems of governance. But Vedic times, he was saying that in Vedic times it was not like that. It was actually the perfect system for ruling. And we can see many examples from Mahabharata, Ramayana, and other Puranas, how uh, the Kshatriyas, they were trained. And we see the Pandavas, so they went to Gurukula. Dronacharya was their guru. So Kripacharya also taught them some things, and they had also other gurus. So they used to learn from the guru all these arts which Prabhupada is mentioning in the purport. He is saying military art, ethics, morality, Niti Shastra, Dharma Shastras, and many other things also. And of course, Prabhupada also says also that the most important thing was devotional service. So uh, when you have a guru who is a devotee, so he teaches you about the Lord, and then so these kshatriyas, then when they are devotees, then that time when they are devotees and they serve the Lord, and then their goal, then the varnashram dharma is followed properly, and the goal of the varnashram dharma becomes to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. So when the king he is taught this devotional service, so then he makes sure the other project, all the other citizens in the kingdom, they also perform devotional service. They perform their varnashram dharma uh, according to their qualities and work, their guna karma vibhagashaha, according to that. So they serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And we also see Prabhupada is also saying that here that even after they finish the Gurukula training, when they become kings, first to become king they should have all these qualifications, and when they become a king, then even then they also have brahmanas, uh, kula gurus who they advise them on different matters, on like any problem or anything in the kingdom. So he first takes advice from the brahmanas, and then he does the action according to that. And this taking always this all other, this kshatriya, vaishya, shudra, they all need brahmanas are the head of the state, so they should always, we all need brahmanas who can lead, who can tell the kshatriyas, like they advise them, tell them what to do, what is dharma, what is not proper dharma. Even the kshatriyas and vaishyas, all of them are all also trained, but they might also transgress something, or they might be confused. So that's why brahmanas are always there. So here this we can see this importance of having a brahmana is also in Mahabharata, that Pandavas after this Varnavrat, they were staying in this palace which was very flammable. So when it was burnt, they left from there and they were like in incognito. So they were in Ekachakra. They killed Bhima killed Bakasura. After that, they heard about Draupadi's Swayamvara. So when they were going one time at night, they came to a lake, and there Gandharva, the king of Gandharva, Chitrata was there. So he was enjoying with his companions, and that time when the Pandavas came, Chitrata immediately challenged them, and then he had a fight with Arjuna. At us, he lost, but he also then Arjuna asked like, why did you attack us? So he said two reasons. One is you have finished your brahmacharya uh, training, so now, and but you have not entered your grihastha ashram yet, so you are not in any proper ashrama, you are in the middle, so you have to enter grihastha ashram. And another thing he said is that you don't have any brahmana who's walking ahead of you to guide you, and so that is very important. So because of that, and then he again says, of course, that he was also enjoying with his with the apsaras, but he says that was the reason I also got angry. But still, this is one important thing you should find. And then he tells him that while you're going to Drupada's kingdom, he tells the location, the place, and then he says that there is one Brahmana, very nice scholarly Brahmana, so you can meet him and accept him as your guide and ask him to be your Kula Guru. So that was Dhaumya, his name was Dhaumya. So then that time they accept Dhaumya as their, they accept him, they please him, and then from that time Dhaumya was always with them, guiding them. So that's the importance we see. So always Kshatriyas, they are guided by the Brahmanas. And here also we see Prabhupada also says that like recent few thousand years ago also, and Chandragupta, he was guided also by the Brahmana Chanakya Pandit, who was also, he was very diplomatic and he helped Chandragupta uh, to win the empires to become like an emperor almost. So that's the most important thing, that we need Brahmanas. And we see the qualities of Kshatriyas are also mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita, Shauryam, Tejo, Dhridakshyam, so that they are always, they are heroism, the Shauryam, heroism, Tejaha is power, and Dhritihi is determination, Dakshyam, resourcefulness. So, and also Yudhya Chapi Palayanam, they are not scared in battle, Dhanam Ishvara Bhavascha, they always give in charity, generosity, and they have that, Kshatriyas have that leadership, that's why Kshatriyas are made kings, because they have that sense of leadership and they can lead the whole country, the whole empire properly. That's why they are made the kings. And so these are the main qualities, but also there are many other qualities of Kshatriyas. And so we see that in their main thing is they should make sure the kingdom, everyone is following the rules and everyone is pious. And we see because of that thieves are scared of them. And so that's why this verse is saying, like, when there's a good king, everyone is protected, feeling protected, and everyone is happy, not fearful. But the thieves, they are fearful, because if they do any crime, then the king will punish them. And we see about this establishing the dharma and following the proper rules. Even like Krishna, Ramachandra, all of them also underwent some Gurukula education. And we see Ramachandra, uh, he like there are many instances. Like one instance, there was a Shudra who was performing austerity. So because of that, there was some calamity in the, like some Brahmana's son died. So at time Ramachandra goes and finds out that there is a Shudra hanging upside down on a tree, and then he is performing austerity. But that is not his duty. Austerity is for Brahmanas, and his is just he should serve the other three varnas. So Ramachandra, he immediately cut the head of the Shudra, and after that all the demigods, they praised him and all that. So because that is the thing, he has to establish dharma, and that every varna, like all the Shudra, Vaishya, Kshatriya, Brahmana, they should all follow whatever is their prescribed duties. And we also see that when Ramachandra's role, it's mentioned in the Ramayana also, that how there were no thieves. I'll just read one small paragraph. Mentions how the role. So Rama ruled the earth from his capital Ayodhya for 11,000 years. During that time, he performed many sacrifices, including hundreds horse sacrifices. So this is another thing. Kings, they perform sacrifices, and as we know, when we perform sacrifices, then we have rain. Annad bhavanti bhutani parjanyad anna sambhavaha yajnad bhavati parjanyo yajna karma samudbhavaha. So when we do yajna, then there is rain, and from rain there is food, and from food the living entities, they sustain themselves. So sacrifices, performing sacrifices is also a very important thing. So during the reign of Lord Rama, the forests, the rivers, and the hills and mountains, the states, the seven islands, and the seven seas were all favorable in supplying the necessities of life for all living beings. All bodily and mental suffering, disease, old age, bereavement, lamentation, distress, fear, and fatigue were completely absent. There were no widows to lament the loss of their husbands, nor were there diseases or thieves. Indeed, even wild animals gave up their natural enmity and thus did not kill one another. All the citizens were fully righteous, always looking toward Rama as their Lord and Master. So we see again that, but of course, the Lord Ramachandra, he is the supreme personality of Godhead. So that these miracles like wild animals, which is mentioned here, that they uh, they do not uh, even have enmity between themselves. So this is because Ramachandra is the supreme personality of Godhead. But of course, when there is a righteous king, a king who is a devotee, like Yudhishthir Maharaj, similar, there are no thieves, and when there is a good king, there is no need for thieves to steal, because everything is taken proper care, and everybody has some prosperity, and everybody can manage his life. There is no like poverty. But when the king is not proper, or of course even when the king might be proper, there might be some people who are demons, like demon like people, so they will steal, continue stealing. But still, when there is a good king, there is no place for thieves. And we see Ramachandra's time, it's also said that people, only if they wanted, they would die. But that is because he is the supreme personality of Godhead. All these, for those thousands of years, people used to have thousands of children, thousands of sons, and they used to live for thousands of years. But still, when there is a good king like Yudhishthir Maharaj, any other kings, Prithu Maharaj also, uh, any other kings, when they rule over the earth, then there is no problem, there are no scarcities, there are no droughts. And even if there are some things like this, then they do some if it's their sin, then they do some prayaschitta, something like that. So therefore the need of a king here, Prabhupada is stressing that this Vedic monarchy is the best thing. And this is actually why when there is demoniac kings, then the Brahmanas or Krishna himself, he comes to remove them. Kamsa, Duryodhana. So Krishna himself, he came and he established, after of course all the whole Mahabharata story, then he brought the Kurukshetra war, he made it take place, and then he established Yudhishthira as a king. So that is the thing. When there is a proper king, then the whole world, country, whole world, everything can be proper, and everybody, if they are doing their varnashrama dharma properly, then they can get liberation, and that's how it was in the Vedic times. I'll continue reading this purport from Light of Bhagavata. In a monarchy, one man sufficiently trained was competent enough to conduct alone the business of the state. But in a democracy, no one is trained like a prince. Instead, politicians are voted to responsible posts of administration by diplomatic arrangements. In place of one king or supreme executive officer, in a democracy, there are so many quasi kings: the president and the ministers, the deputy ministers, the secretaries, the assistant secretaries, the private secretaries, and the under secretaries. There are numbers of parties: political, social, and communal, and there are party whips, party whims, and so on. But no one is well enough trained to look after the factual interests of the governed. In the so-called democratic government, corruption is even more rampant than in an autocracy or monarchy. So here Prabhupada is condemning the monarchy, how that nobody is trained as a prince. Shudras, Prabhupada many times he says Shudras vote Shudras. So Kalau Shudra Sambhava, everyone born in this Kali Yuga is a Shudra. So the thing is, when we do perform dosha service, we can perfect ourselves. But this whoever is president, prime minister, Prabhupada says like they vote is just voting. And Prabhupada often used to say democracy as demon crazy. That is, it's because they vote anyone and everyone they can vote, and it's just people. Some people will vote for this person, some people will vote for that person, because there is some selfish needs. And the people who are who act as the government, they will promise so many things. We'll give you this, we'll give you a TV, we'll give you a fridge, this and that, and then people will think, okay, he will do something nice for me. But then they vote, and these are just all lies. Of course, even if they give something, it's just for selfish profits and selfish needs. So there is no, they don't have the interest for the people. They just everything is for themselves, their money, and we see it's like that in the world now. The world is like always getting worse and worse. Kali Yuga, as it increases, there is more robbery, more crime rate is increasing all the time. So because there is no proper king, that is the main thing. So we need a proper king, because there is no proper king. Even the kings themselves, as Prabhupada is saying here, that corruption is even more rampant than in monarchy. So corruption, even the government themselves are thieves and rogues in many places, because they themselves they increase the tax. They, like, if and somebody wants to earn something, some money, or have his business, he can't like just have the profit. Of course, in traditional times also the king used to take some profit, but it was not like this, that they take so much profit and then they leave you. They just suck out everything you have, and everything, anything has some tax, has this or some regulations, and and it's that's why the society is in chaos. Everything is going on crazy, and there's more crime, more murders, more wars, more and more wars, and this also because of animal slaughter. So like this, we see in traditional times, Vedic times, those who wanted to kill, animal slaughter was very rare. So those who used to eat meat, like chandalas, uh, shudras maybe sometimes. So then chandalas, then they used to go out of the city. Usually they used not stay with the brahmanas, like near where the brahmanas stay or kshatriyas, vaishyas stay. They'll stay separated, but still they will go out of the like boundaries of the city, and they'll go eat in the forest. They'll first, Prabhupada also explains, on Amavasya they will kill a goat and offer it to Kali or some other demigods. So everything was regulated, and you cannot eat meat in public. You had to go outside. So, and there were other tribes like Nishadas, uh, any other Kiratas. They used to live in the forest, and they were like fully low class people. They used to eat meat and do all those like that kind of sinful activities. So we see, but now animal slaughter is done in public. It is and billions, and especially cows, even billions and billions of cows are killed all over the world, and is total like what is it, nonsense, because they are killing animals, and that's why there is wars. But and also war, also they show their power. They cause some war just for that, and even in war, bigger countries, they have they have their own selfish interest, and by selling weapons or whatever it may be. So everywhere, and like anywhere they can get some money, they'll do it. They just do it, everything for money. And I'll read the next paragraph. Men who want to flourish in the guise of servants of the people do not want a good king at the head of the state. They are like the kumuda flowers, which do not take pleasure in the sunrise. The word ku means bad, and mud means pleasure. Persons who want to exploit the administrative power for their own self interest do not like the presence of a good king. Although professing democracy, they want to be kings themselves. Thus, they compete for votes by bad propaganda, and take pleasure in having politics, but no king. Thieves and dacoits also take no pleasure in the presence of a good king. But it is in the interest of the people to have a well trained king as the head of the state. So here it is again said that these people, as I said, they give all these different offers. They just do it just so that this is Prabhupada says, like this bad propaganda. Like even parties, then they will say some bad propaganda about some other party, or they'll offer something, and they are just fighting for the place in government. And who are fighting? It's just all Shudras are fighting for votes. So whoever it is, they are performing sinful activities, and they don't have the understanding of Varnashram Dharma, of Vedic culture and Vedic transcendental knowledge. That's why we need kings who will propagate Varnashram Dharma, propagate Krishna consciousness. And we see in Bhagavatam, story of Prithu Maharaj, that there was a king Anga. So he performed yagnya, but no demigods came to accept the offerings. So then the Brahmanas explained that because he doesn't have a son because of his sinful activities in the previous life, so then he performed some yagna, something, he pleased the demigods, and then of course, in the end he got a son whose name was Vena. And but this son was very cruel, and he was merciless. In his childhood himself, he used to fight with the children, play with them, kill them. Just for fun, he used to kill them. We also have another story in Sagar Maharaj's son also. What is his name? I forgot. Asamanjas. So he also used to throw the children into the river to drown them. But so this similarly, this boy also Vena, he used to just for fun, and it's also I think so I heard that he used to like even like hunt them like animals, kill them like animals. In the Bhagavatam it's mentioned he used to kill them like animals, and whenever he used to come, then people would say, "Oh, Vena is coming, the cruel boy, like cruel prince." And he used to go for hunting. Even like Kshatriyas, they are allowed to go for hunting. There is some, but there are restrictions. They go for the protection of the sages and the praja, so they kill some animals, but it's not that they can do how much ever they want. But Vena used to go kill unnecessarily. Used to kill many deer, many other animals just for fun. So he was so cruel. And his father Anga, he used to try so many different methods of punishing him, but he would just not change. So once, for some many days, Anga could not sleep during the night. He was always thinking what he could do, and he was thinking, actually having such a bad son is good for me than having a good son, because then I can become easily detached from family life. So, and at last he decided like to leave home, and one night when everyone was asleep, he just left home, like took Vanaprastha and went somewhere else, went to the forest. And then next day morning, all the ministers, Brahmanas, everybody, then all the citizens. So Anga's lineage, the whole dynasty, they were really very good kings. Anga himself was a very good king. But so now he left, and they need a king, because they know if there is no king, then there is chaos in the society. So then they searched all around the world, but they could not find him. So after that, the Brahmanas at last they decided to crown Vena, and with the permission of the wife of Anga, they crowned him. Ministers, they were not satisfied. They didn't want that, because they knew how cruel he was. And then slowly Vena, like after he became king, already he was very proud, and now he even became even more proud, even more cruel, and he just stopped. He stopped the Brahmanas from all sacrifices, and other varnas like giving charity, Brahmanas giving charity or Kshatriyas giving charity. He stopped all these religious principles, worship of demigods or Krishna or Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then he started speaking that all these Vishnu, Krishna, demigods, they are all parts and parcels of the king's body. So now you worship me. I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You worship me. And like this happened. He said this when the sages they came. They told him. They said, and they were very upset with him, because he used to harass the kingdom, everybody in the kingdom, and thieves were very scared, because he was so cruel even to general people. So there were no thieves, but he himself was a rogue, and he himself was harassing the kingdom, all the citizens. So then the sages came, said, they calmed themselves down. It's mentioned that because they were so upset, but somehow they wanted to speak softly to him, convince him that what he's doing is not good, is wrong. And after that, he spoke all this. He blasphemed Vishnu, he blasphemed Krishna. He said, what is this? You just worship me, I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then the Brahmanas, it said that he was almost as good as dead, because he blasphemed the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And they, just by pronouncing they killed him. And after that, his mother was very upset, lamenting for his death. But then now again they saw something like a dust storm in the whole. After a few days, they saw like a dust storm, because the thieves, rogues were running, dacoits were running all around the city and plundering all the people's wealth. So again, this is the thing. When we need a king, And when there's a king, proper king, then we don't have thieves. But so now they needed a proper king. So then again, the sages, Brahmanas, who also had the power to kill or catch the thieves or stop them, but that was not their duty. So that's again Varnashrama Dharma. Everyone follows according to his nature and work his duty. So then uh, his mother, Vena's mother, had preserved his body in some natural medicinal oils and other herbs. So then they churned his body, lower parts. When they churned, a personality came out, and they told him sit down. To sit down means nishada. So then he became he accepted all the sinful reactions and all those bad qualities of Vena, and he became like the founder, or kind of he became the first person of the Nishada race. And then they churned his arms. They churned both of his arms, and then came Prithu Maharaj came from that, and Archi. So Prithu Maharaj was a Shaktiavesh avatar, empowered incarnation of Lord Vishnu, and Archi was the expansion of the goddess of fortune. So then Prithu Maharaj, so then the Brahmanas, they all said what Prithu Maharaj would do in the future, how he would rule the kingdom properly. And after that Prithu Maharaj, because there was a lot of drought, and there was no food, no yield of grains. So then he chases Bhumi Devi and all. There's a whole long story. So just to make it short, he at last Bhumi Devi, she surrenders, and then she offers some prayers, and then he milks her, and from that all the nutritions, all the vegetables, everything she yields. And then whole kingdom, basically when he ruled the kingdom, everything was peaceful, everything was proper, and there was peace in society. There was no chaos, no thieves. Yeah, so we also see Prabhupada, even Prabhupada, he said that these people, they are, that in Bhagavatam he often quoted the verse that in the end of Kali Yuga, government, they will become so bad, they will become rogues, rascals, thieves, that people will run to the forests, and people won't be able to live in the cities because they will be tortured by their kings, like I mean whoever they are, but they will be rascals, but uh, they will be tortured by them, and then they will leave the kingdom cities. So Prabhupada also many few times he said that devotees should become Krishna consciousness. We should Krishna conscious devotees. They should become the government. They should lead the whole world, and then the whole world will be in proper synchrony, and uh, all the everybody will be Krishna conscious, and then thus they can ultimately be happy, peaceful, attain the supreme goal. Just going back to the supreme personality of God at His abode. So, and thus everybody can be liberated, and even in the material world, they can at least live a peaceful, Krishna conscious life. So, Hare Krishna. These were some thoughts about this verse. Any comments, doubts, questions? Yes. Uh, of course, he also still like Panchashaurdam. Question is that Anga, so he knew that his duty is to protect the citizens, but still, because he became detached and he left home. So why did he do that? He also knew that his son is he can't incompetent. He can't rule the kingdom. So why did he do that? Why did he just leave it like that? For means he left home also because the duty of a king also he has he until like it said Panchashaurdam Vanam Rajit, so he should take Vanaprastha and go to the forest. Here exactly maybe somebody else could say the answer. I means I don't exactly like if he knew that he had such a bad son, why he left just like that. He could fix maybe somebody else, but also it would be also I think so difficult also for him just any because his son or anyways he would fight with his father. He would not allow anyone else to become the king. Maybe somebody else. Prabhuji, Krishna's Pro, and said that he was frustrated with because of this son. And Prabhuji Sri Ram Charananda Prabhu said that he also it was also a pastime that an arrangement for Prithu Maharaj, the Shakti Avesha Avatara of Krishna, to appear and then rule the earth. श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय.